Wait, Kira's over here.
Do a picture.
Pedro, over here.
Tristan.
Pedro.
Tristan.
Tristan, turn around, honey.
Tristan.
Okay, good job. All right, go ahead, Kira.
This is my dad, Kurt,
No fingers in your mouth.
and he ran a very long marathon all day and all night. Did he sleep in his marathon? No.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you very much, Kira.
Diga. Buenos días, señor Kirk.
Buenos días, señor.
Excuse the interruption, there's some mail to go home today if you want to send a student down. Thank you.
Espanol, that's very good. Buenos dias, kindergarten. How's that?
That's good.
Pretty good? All right, like Kira said, I ran in a marathon. And I've run about 10, and those are all the little medals we can take a look at later, that when you finish a marathon, you get a medal. But I did a very special one this year. It was in Athens. And Athens is a very, very old city. Do you want to know how old it is?
How old?
It's older than Canada, because Canada is about 120 years old. This city is about 2,500 years old.
Oh, wow.
That's about 500 years before Jesus was even born. That's how old it is. Yes, you have a question?
Jesus was born on Christmas Day.
That's right. Very good. About
And
you.
that's why his birthday's on Christmas.
Yeah. And I'm just going to quickly see here if I can pull this up here.
It's a video of the marathon.
So I can show you some pictures.
That's him.
Okay, so this here,
How did he get it there?
this here is in Athens. And this is called the Acropolis. And this is where the queen used to live. And that's 2,500 years old.
And that's why it's broken.
That's right. But you know what? If you were that old, you'd be a little bit broken too. So that's lasted really good through all the storms and all the earthquakes and all the rain and all the wind and all the sun. It's still there because it's made out of marble. So when they decided to build this way up on a rock, they said, let's build it really good because we want it to last a long time. So that's why that's so old. So that's really good. If your house is that old, I'm not sure if it would still be here because it's not made of rock like this one is. So what happened in the Athens Marathon is there was a big war, a big battle between Persia and the Greeks. And the Greeks is where Athens is, all right? And they wanted to make sure that nobody could come into their country. So what they did is 1,000 Greeks came from Athens and went down to the town of Marathon. In Marathon, it was about 25 miles away from Athens. And do you know how many warriors were coming from Persia?
How much?
25,000. So there was going to be 1,000 Greeks versus 25,000 Persians. That doesn't sound like it's going to be a very good chance, does it? And let's see here.
There should be about staying people that's going to have a war, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Just saying,
How do
you
you
know?
what do we say?
Here, this is the map here. You can maybe see it. See, this is where Greece is. This is where the Acropolis. See that little white thing? And this is where Marathon. And this is where Marathon is. So they had to march all the way up by this Aegean Sea to here. Okay? And they decided, you know what? Even though it's 1,000 to 25,000, we're not going to give up. We're going to battle these guys because we want to protect the ladies and the children and the way we live. Because in Greece, they had what's called democracy. Do you guys know what democracy is? That's when they have a government, like we have in Canada, where we all have a vote, and the people decide what happens. But in Persia, they have an emperor, and he decides. The people don't have any say. So the Greeks said, we don't want to have an emperor, we want the people to have a vote. So they had a big battle. And do you know what happened?
What?
1,000 versus 25,000? The Greeks won with 1,000 warriors. They beat 25,000. So that was a great victory for the Greeks that lived in Athens. So you know what the general said from the Greek army? This is a great victory. And he took a guy named Philippides. And he said, you run and tell the king that we have won the battle, because he won't believe it. We've already won it after only 4 days. So Philippides ran all the way here, all the way along the sea, and there was no roads and no shoes. So he's probably running in his bare feet over all these rocks and all this dirt. And he runs all the way because he's so excited and he wants to make sure he gets his message to the people. So he runs all this way back to Athens. So all the way from Marathon, that's where the word marathon came, all the way to Athens. And you know, he was so tired and he was trying so hard that he ran all the way up to the top of the steps to here. And then you know what happened? He said to the king, Niki. Do you guys know what Niki means? No, that's not Spanish and it's not English. It's Greek. And do you know what it means? Victory. And then he says he died right after that. So he ran all that way and to give to his people the message, and then he died. So in that honor, they called the race Marathon, because it ran all the way from Marathon all the way to where the king was. So that's what the race Marathon, that's where it came from. Does that sound pretty cool? That was quite a guy, that Philippides, wasn't he? So now millions of people run marathons. But I'm going to show you a few more pictures here, okay, of Athens. So I'm just going to sneak over here.
Wow.
And you see how big it is? See how big those pillars are? And you can see they're trying to rebuild it here, aren't they? So they're spending some money to make sure it's always saved. So when you guys grow up, you can go see it. And then when you have kids, they can go see it. For generations and generations, they're trying to save this and preserve it so people can see it for years and years to come.
And then we take pictures to show the other moms or dads.
That's right. There's a lot of pictures that get taken here, that's for sure. So there's what's on top of the rock, and this is overlooking all of Athens. So you can see the city's getting really big now, isn't it?
Too big.
And there's some pictures of some statues. And there's the entrance. See, they got big pillars that came up to the entrance too.
Oh.
And here is pretty cool. I got a better picture here, but you see these stands here? This is the big stage down here. Let's see where I can have a better picture. There's a big wall all the way around it. See, here's a good picture. So what they used to do is it wasn't just for athletes and things like that in government. They had lots of theater and arts, even way back 2,500 years ago. Yes?
They should paint some of the pictures
Yes.
to make it look prettier.
That's right. Well, I think all the pictures probably got washed off the walls. It's so old. But they probably did have lots of flowers and things. You see all these little things here? All these little shelves? I bet you they had them there. So this is where the singers would be and the dancers, because I know some of you girls and boys, you like singing and dancing, don't you?
I like
Yeah.
the best dance.
Right. And so they didn't have microphones, but because of this what's called an amphitheater, they could sing and everybody could hear it.
Because it's like an echo.
Yeah. And there's another outdoor one. So this is the smaller one, but they had another one here for two stages. One was inside there and one's outside. Okay.
Yeah, look at that.
That's a marathon.
Let's see the marathon running. So this is the Greek flag. So in Athens, this is their Greek flag. So at the starting line, they have all these flags. And this is the first woman ever to win an Olympic medal in the marathon. Her name is Joan Benoit. She's from the United States. And she's lighting the Olympic torch. Do you know that the first Olympics was also in Athens? So whenever there's an Olympics, this is where the torch comes from. So I just got to keep going here a little bit, guys. We'll save the questions till afterwards, okay? So they drove, this is the cab driver. He was a rally driver. He was a fun guy. And this is the guy I met in Texas. So when you go to run marathons and do things, you meet a whole bunch of really nice people. So this guy here, he was the cab driver that took us to marathons so we could run all the way back. And this is the gentleman I met from Dallas. And he was going to run the marathon too. There's where we're all going to go standing in at the start line. They got balloons and everything ready to go. There's all the security. And this here is like the battlefield where this is called the Marathon Hills, where the battlefield was for that big battle that they had. So you get to go right into history here. You drop all your things off at the starting line and get ready to run the race. And there's me beside the torch. And this is the warm-up track. Same one that they used in Athens Olympics. And bang, now we're off. About 10,000 people are going to run this marathon. The 2,500th one.
Wow.
And there's me running, about halfway through.
Look at the red shirt.
I'm in the red shirt. Do I look like I'm going pretty good? Yeah. I'm a little bit sweaty though, because it was pretty warm. But so you have to make sure when you're running, you always exercise and you always have drinks, right? And you see this little black thing I have on here? That's got some fuel in it. It's got, that I use for gels, but you know what it also has? It's got two little special things for me. They keep me going. One is a card from Michael to make sure I always go fast. And one's a little heart from Kira. They're always wishing me good luck, and so her heart is always with me. And if I press it, it even flashes.
Aww.
So that's always running with me. Very special good luck charms. And there I'm coming into the finish line. Now I'm going full goose. And the marathon finishes in an ancient stadium. It's made out of all marble, all stone. And they only open it up 2 times a year. One for this, and one for at Christmas. Otherwise, they always have this closed to preserve it.
My mom does a race too.
Does she? Well, that's very good. She must be very healthy too, does she? Good. So here you can see it, all the people, and I'm crossing the finish line with my hands up, and I go, oh, I'm here finally. Oh. So there's the stadium. We come in here after 26 miles, and then we cross the finish line. Hallelujah. So there you can see me in the red shirt crossing there.
With your hands up.
And the hands in the air.
Yeah.
And there you can see the Olympic rings in the ancient stadium. And there I did.
Ooh, look at that.
There's a first place.
Finished.
Right? First place, right?
It wasn't, well, first place was pretty good. And there's the weather. And this here's, what you do is you can wear a chart or a graph, and you can see this line here. This tells you that from 20 kilometers all the way to 32 kilometers, I had to run all the way up a hill. So that's why it was really hard. But at the end, you have to run downhill. So that was easier. But running uphill is very difficult. Yeah, it is fast, yeah.
And hard to go down. If it was toboggan going down, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it would be hard to stay on.
So that's the marathon. And what you do when you're done the marathon, to congratulate you, they give you a special medal. You can see this one here's got fancy lettering on it, because that's Greek letters. See that? I don't even know what that says. I think it says Athens. I bet you find one that says English.
I know what it says.
Hellenic?
Which one?
Athleticism. Well, I'm not on this. This
I
is
know Greece.
this is the medal you get when you finish. You get to put, they put this around the neck and say, congratulations, you're a champion. But you know what's important when you run and you're doing athletics? Do you think we always eat hamburgers and French fries and things like that?
No.
No.
Yes, because the
No.
I eat them.
That's right. That's like putting dirt in your gas tank for your car. If you put dirt in your gas tank for your car, would you run very fast?
No.
Would it go very fast? Well, that's sometimes like that. When we put too many French fries and hamburgers in, that's like putting, it slows us down.
Kelly.
So what we have to always make sure that we're eating is things like vegetables. Do you guys all eat your vegetables?
Yeah. All I eat is vegetables is like carrots on top.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's very good. Broccoli's very good. And do you guys always eat your fruits? Good. You always eat some of your meats?
Yeah.
Always eat some of your breads?
I like meat.
Good. Well, that's good. Because that, if you take care of your body, you'll always be able to run fast and do lots of things. Whether you want to play hockey, whether you want to dance, whether you want to run, basketball, curling, soccer, anything. So
Hockey.
tennis and hockey, yeah. And
I
ringette,
pick up everything heavy.
yeah, that's right. And you always make sure you're taking care of your body.
I pick up your health.
Because you guys are very special. You guys are, your bodies are really good right now. So if you take care of it, you're going to live to be a long, long time and be happy and healthy and very active. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
Should we always do that?
Yeah.
All right, because I'm going to ask Senorita Herrera and Senora Ruby, I'm going to say, well, are all the kids eating their vegetables here at snack time?
That's right.
And then she'll be able to tell me, and I'm going to say, okay, I know who's going to be able to run a marathon here soon, and who's going to be able to run fast.
I'm not gonna read a
One day, never say that. Never say never. Because you know what I said when I was little? or even when I was older, I can't run a marathon. It's too far. It's way too far for me to run a marathon.
Yeah,
But you know what?
doing that.
I could.
I
I know, but you know what? Never.
I'm gonna run a marathon when I grow up.
Good.
Me too.
I agree.
I'm gonna run the longest marathon in the world.
Perfect. Well, you know one thing.
I'm gonna run for 25 hours.
You know one thing I did that was even as cool as a marathon? I ran was called the death race.
Even every
The death race, and this is its logo.
Oh my goodness, look at that. That's right.
Do you know how far the marathon's 42 kilometers? Do you know how far the death race is? 125 kilometers. And I said I could never run 125 kilometers. But you know what? It wasn't on flat surface. I had to run over 3 mountains. And do you know what they give you if you did 125 kilometers and no sleeping? You got to run for 20 hours. Is they give you a silver medal to say you are a champion of the long distance too. And so that's what I got when I ran 125 kilometers. 300 people started and 40 finished. And that's because I ate really well and I trained really hard. And you know what I said to myself? Never give up. You guys never give up in anything you do. Does that make sense?
No, this is something we can't do. You
Yeah.
you only give up with not active stuff like video games.
Yeah, well, we can give up video games sometimes. That's right. You're right. But never say you can't do something, you guys, because it's amazing what your little minds and your little bodies can do if you just put it to it.
You could give up on video games though.
Yeah, that's okay to do that. Maybe you need to talk to your teachers about that, because I think they know what to give up on.
That's right.
Okay, so one thing I'll do here is I'm going to show you, these are the shoes I run in, and I'm going to show you, I'll pass them around here. You can see who wants to feel. You, Kara, you can kind of, you feel how heavy these ones are, and then how heavy those ones are.
Oh, notice the difference.
Yeah, see the difference? They're so much lighter.
See? One is heavier than the other. They just pass them around.
And here, you guys can all take a look at the metal.
Pass them around.
Yeah, pass them around.
Just stay where you are though.
It makes my own.
See?
And here I'll show you a very special one, guys. These ones are the Boston Marathons.
She knows.
That one's from the Boston Marathon. And that marathon is all the champions go to this one when they're all done. The Boston Marathon is the only marathon you have to qualify for.
Hey, I didn't see that.
Yeah, don't pull on them, guys. Just do it gently.
Gently, be careful with them, please. They're very special.
And they're made out of glass. Yeah.
And while you're looking at that, I'll just show you this too. After you're done your marathon, you kind of get kind of cold because you've been running so sweaty. So they have something that's really cool. And what they do is they give you this blanket.
Give it. Let me in. Pass it around.
And you put this blanket around you, and it keeps you warm from getting too cold because you're all sweaty, and you just stop. And this special material is the same one that they use in space.
Oh, what is that?
They invented this from space when they did the shuttle. So it keeps you really warm and keeps all your heat in. But it's really light too. So one day, can I expect to see you guys doing some running and soccer? And one day seeing you guys run a marathon? Or even a 2K, because Kira Louise, she's even run a 1 mile race and got a medal.
Wow, Kira, good job.
Yeah. So they do that on Canada Day. When they have the marathon here in Edmonton, there's little kids. They can do their own little marathon mile.
Yes?
Just to let you know,
Everybody can do it.
It's going to be a little bit late.
All right?
Okay.
All right, so that's my presentation there today, guys. I got to go do it to another class soon.
Oh, okay. Can we say gracias, Señor Kirk? That was very interesting. Good job.
All right, okay, guys. Thanks a lot for letting me come to your class.
Okay, hold on.
Pardon?
Works for the government of Canada.
Very good. Okay. No, I didn't get the torch.
Where are you going, Heather? Where are you going? Please.
Yeah.
Where are you going? All right, aplauso por favor. Gracias, señor. All right. Okay, pam para pam pam.
12.
Okay, let's sit down, see. Vamos a ver.
12
The
minutes.
light is better, right?
Okay.
You can't be careful because there's not as much.
Okay, first of all, Bella has brought some letters that she did. Okay, and she'd like to share them with you. Careful, careful. Okay, man, over here. Okay, Diana, que nobody has